If you are part of the book community here on TikTok or on some other apps, you probably know that there are some creators who play games to decide what book they're going to read next. And that's always something that I've struggled with, is what book do I want to read next? And so I was looking for like, what are some cool ideas for like ways to figure out what I want to read? And I came across Becca's Bookopoly, which has since been rebranded to Becca's Bookoplathon. And so I made my own Bookopoly board where I'm basically playing Monopoly as I go around the board, kind of, or it's on a Monopoly-like board. And all of the different spaces are different prompts and things. So as you land on the different prompts, you read a book of that prompt and then you get to go again. So I am playing just a little bit different than Becca's general standardized rules. She typically runs the Bookoplathon for the month of September. Most people decide what books they're going to be reading ahead of time by doing a set number of rolls at the beginning of the month. I don't like that. I want to be playing throughout the whole year. So that means I'm just going to be rolling as I finish a book. I'll roll for the next prompt in the next book. So I actually just finished the book that I was working on before I found this. So this is going to get to be my first roll. But like I said, I am going to be playing with some slight changes. And the main difference is that Rogue Potato has decided he wants to play with me. So he wants to read more books this year as well. And he thinks that this could be a fun way for us to read together and some stuff like that. So first things first, we are going to be using little magnetic bookmarks as our tokens as we move around the board. That way we know where our last prompt was when we roll for our next one. We did change some of the prompts so that they made a little bit more sense for us. So what is typically on the free parking space is Becca's recommendation. So you take a recommendation from the original creator of this idea. Instead, we have changed it to be a partner recommendation. So if he lands it, I will recommend a book to him. If I land on it, he will recommend a book to me. And we've changed a few of the others as well, mainly because he doesn't have a social media presence. So something like putting some books up and letting the internet decide and take a poll on what he should read next is not something that he's going to be doing. So we have changed a few of the prompts because of that. But the biggest thing that we are doing is, because we are going to be playing on the same board, if I land on a square and I read a book with that prompt, I am going to take a little book cover of the book that I read and paperclip it to that space. And that way, if he lands on it, I've already purchased that space just like you would in Monopoly. And so he pays rent in the form of reading that same book. So I do read faster than him, which means that there is a pretty decent chance that at some point I'm going to get around to the same prompt more than once before he's landed on it. In which case I'll just put more than one little tiny book cover there, and then he will get to choose which book he wants to read. And there is a chance that obviously he could do this as well for me and read multiple books with the same prompt that then I'm going to land on. Like I said, this is going to be going on over the course of the year. We're going to read quite a few books. Last year I read 69 books total. I believe he read 9, which is really good for him. That's more than he's read in a long time. 69 is the most I've read in, I don't know, as long as I've been keeping track. It was definitely the most for a year for me since I've been keeping track. But anyway, do you like this idea? Do you want to know more about how we did it and what exactly, what all the prompts are and stuff like that? Let me know. Do you play any TBR games to help you decide what books you are gonna read next? Yeah, I'm super excited. I'm gonna go roll for my first book. Let's go.